Going on, everyone? The Los Angeles Lakers, with the 35th pick in this year's draft, selected Max Christie, a 19-year-old from Michigan State. And that's the big key here, the 19-year-old, right? Because the Lakers drafted him, and based on the history that the Lakers have had with second and undrafted draft picks, I mean, even some in this year's draft, there's always been this assumption that, like, the Lakers are getting a guy and he's going to be, Alex Caruso. He's going to be Austin Reeves. He's going to be, Julius Randle at this point. And we had all this hope and all this promise for Max Christie. Young, wing, athletic, a commodity in this league, went to a storied franchise in Michigan State. Perfect pickup, right? Well, then we got to Summer League and he really underwhelmed. He shot terrible, not only from three, but from the floor, period. He shot I think it was 32% from the floor entirely. He just seemed to not let the game come to him. He looked like a 19-year-old out there, and a lot of Laker fans are really concerned that maybe we finally missed on a pick. But this pick was a guy that the Lakers saw for the future. They drafted this 19-year-old kid because he's a 19-year-old kid, and they want to develop him. Think about it. Guys like Kuzma was already, 23, 24 when we drafted him. And so when he came into the league, he already had 4 years of experience getting into the NBA. So he already had that ability to establish himself. Same thing with Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is 24. He's a guy that has had the years of experience, stuff like that. Now look at even our NBA team, our Summer League team. A lot of the guys like Bass, Huff, these guys, they all were in the G League. They've all played. They played in college for years. Huff is 24. Bass is 27. Vito Brown is, I think, 27 or 28. And all these guys have played for years in the pros. So, of course, they're all going to look like they are just this dominant force compared to, these other guys that are out there that are all Max Christie at age 19. Max Christie, they didn't get him because they thought he was going to be a guy that was going to come in and, immediately make us a contender. No, they drafted him for our future. They drafted him for a guy that is 19 years old. If he just develops, we're in a great position, and we might have that wing or that star or that all-star or, even just a solid rotation player for years to come. That's the goal. That's the role that you're hoping for a second-round pick. Can we at least get a rotation player for now and in the future? And they got somebody in 19-year-old Max Christie. Now, as far as the shooting go, this stroke is there. His shot and things like that, it is there. It's just it just seems like it's short. Most of the time when he's shooting, it's every shot is short. He doesn't have that touch in his shot. It looks pretty. It looks good. He has the nice looking shot. It's just it just keeps falling short when he shoots. It's every shot, he doesn't have the touch when he releases it. So that can be taught. That can be improved. You can work in repetition and get his shot down. It's not like he has some crazy weird shooting mechanic. I mean, look at Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball had a weird looking shot when he first came in the league. And then now look at him. Now he's improved his shot tremendously over the years. And is actually a real respectable three-point shooter. Christie, he has a nice looking shot. He just needs to get the repetitions. He's going to work with the trainers. The Lakers will get his shot. He looks like somebody that knows how to shoot the ball. He's just struggling. Not just that, but you got to keep in mind, at Summer League, you only get a sample size of games. Look at Cole Swider, right? Cole Swider is the guy that everybody loves, right? He was the real standout. He is the real star of Summer League for the Lakers. I mean, last year, he ended up shooting 45% or something crazy like that from three in college. But he started the year 5 for 25 or something like that. He missed 20 straight shots, and then he just went on a crazy shooting run. And then he was having games like we saw in the Summer League where he's knocking down 5 of 6 threes, stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying Max Christie is going to be that guy, but it just shows that they're young guys, that they have these highs and these lows. Max Christie, when he was out there, if you actually watched the games and you watched him play, he really tried to force a lot. He really never allowed the game to come to him. He wasn't really controlled at times. He looked like a guy that was trying to make the team. And it's like, dude, you're already on the team. It's okay. Like, you don't need to try to prove yourself. Like, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like a 19-year-old kid who was like, I want to show the Lakers I belong here. And it's just like, because he would over dribble at times. He'd get the ball. Like, he'd try to like do too much instead of just like catch and shoot, stuff like that. Like, it was like he was trying to show, like, I could be this guy. Like, I can shoot. I can do that. And then it's like he started to get in his own head. Like, oh man, like there's another one. Like, okay, this next one, I'm going to take it to the basket, And it's just like, instead of allowing the flow of the game to happen, you could see him kind of just trying to force the issue, trying to prove, like, I could do this. And it's like, you're already on the team, young fella. Don't worry. Like, just go out there and play basketball. But on the positive side, the things that is harder to teach, like defense, proper closeouts, stuff like that, Christie was there. Christie was we saw him be a great defender. We saw him close out. I mean, his closeouts were impressive. The way he was able to cover certain gaps and stuff, he had it down pat. So that was probably one of the best things that I saw about him, being able to, to close out strong. And he really did that. Defensively, he's great. He's got size. He's got all of the intangibles to be a great 3-and-D wing in this league. And the problem is that they are a hot commodity, right? And that is good that we got a guy that we could build for now and in the future. If Lakers can just get him to league average, as a rookie, that is tremendous. If he could just be a 35% three-point shooter, that would be tremendous. Because the defense he can play, he could probably be a real contributor this year. I don't put too much, even from Swider. Swider looked like the Steph Curry on steroids in the summer league. The dude couldn't miss in the summer league. But if we're being real, he's not going to do that in the NBA. He's not going to be an 80% three-point shooter, or he shot like 52% from three. That's not going to happen. But I think he could be like a 37, 38 maybe this year, which would be huge for us. Right? If he could be like a 37 to 40% three-point shooter, that would be huge for us. And from 52 to 37 is a huge drop-off. I think more likely he has the potential to be a 40% just because of all the distractions. So if comes to Max Christie, he's a guy that I don't want to put too much stock into what happened in Summer League. Because, just like you don't want to put too much stock in Cole Swider shooting 52%. Because if you put too much into it, you're going to think Cole Swider is the greatest shooter that ever played. He would have the greatest three-point percentage of all time, like if he did that. Like, anything's possible, but realistically, like, come on. And Max Christie, he's exactly where you think he would be for a 19-year-old, player that was drafted in the second round. Like, he has his moments, he has his things where you're like, okay, I see why the Lakers drafted him. And then he has his moments where it's like, well, man, why did the Lakers draft him? That's just what you get with the 19-year-old kid. But he's young enough, he's going to grow, he's going to develop. Another thing, too, I want to kind of point out and highlight is he wasn't a standout in college. Averaged 9 points on 38% field goals, 32% from three freshman season with Michigan State. So, again, his numbers were exactly what they were in Summer League, right? So, right now, this is the player he is. And that's the thing. And the Lakers know that. It's about the intangibles, about what you get with Max Christie. It's not about it's about what can he become, not what he is right now. The Lakers, yes, it would be nice if the Lakers could get a wing player that could guard multiple positions, do all this stuff, and be that guy and immediately come in and contribute. Yes, that would be fantastic. But unfortunately, you're not. It's hard to find that, whether it's undrafted or not. And he got a 19-year-old 6'4" kid who is just trying to get his beak wet in the league. And I do. I think he will. I think he'll be okay. I really do. Our drafting department has not missed yet, knock on wood. And so we have to give them the benefit of the doubt. and not everybody that they draft, they're going to draft for today. A lot of them they're going to draft for the future because we're starting to get closer and closer to LeBron retiring. And then what do we do with Anthony Davis? So we need to start getting some of these young guys so we don't have to try to convince young guys to come and, take a vet minimum. Like if we have guys like Christie and we homegrown some of these guys, then great. The Lakers have always been known to go get the stars, right? But that's fine. Like even if, say LeBron, AD, and Westbrook are gone 3 years from now, right? Let's say Lakers go get 2 different stars, right? That's fine, but you need more than just those 2 stars. You need those young guys that you grew, you developed, that can do all the dirty work. That's probably what Christie's going to be. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of Max Christie? Do you think, hey, he's a kid, 19. He showed a lot of promise, especially on the defensive end. You can't kill him. It's only a handful of games to go off of. I mean, we've seen stars have terrible 10-game stretches. It happens. And he's nervous. He's there. He's the draft pick. He's the guaranteed. He wants to show and prove, I belong here, that the Lakers didn't make a mistake. Like I said, go watch the games. I'm sure they're on the internet somewhere. I'm sure you can watch them. If you did watch the games, you saw a Max Christie that looked like he was trying to do too much. He was trying to show, I could be this star. I could be this guy, rather than just playing within the flow of things, showing us the intangibles. Alex Caruso was perfect, and when he said, you need to find out what is the role that the team wants you to be and become that best role player. Figure out what are you. The Lakers didn't draft him to come in and be the next, Jimmy Butler. If he can be, that's great. If he could be the next Jimmy, perfect. But that's not why they drafted him, for his potential for the future. And do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think no, he's a bust, he's this, that, the other? I don't know how anyone could say that. He's a 19-year-old kid. He hasn't even played an NBA game yet. Everything takes time. All things take time. But however you feel about it, let me know down in the comment section. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.